The Odyssey Book 1. After 10 long years of war at Troy, Odysseus, the great king of Ithaca, had not returned home. His wife, Penelope, waited faithfully day after day, never knowing whether her husband was alive or dead. She often stood looking toward the sea, hoping to see his ship appear on the horizon. Many believed he was dead, lost somewhere in the vast seas. But Odysseus was alive. Far away from Ithaca, Odysseus remained trapped on the distant island of Ogygia, where the nymph Calypso refused to let him leave. This island was ruled by Calypso, a powerful nymph. When Odysseus arrived on her island, she cared for him and eventually fell deeply in love with him. Day after day, he gazed across the ocean and dreamed of seeing his home. He missed his wife Penelope, his son Telemachus, and his beloved kingdom of Ithaca that he had left behind so many years before. While Odysseus suffered far away, the gods gathered on Mount Olympus. Zeus, the king of the gods, sat upon his throne as the immortals discussed the fate of mortals below. Among them stood Athena, the goddess of wisdom. She had always admired Odysseus for his intelligence, courage, and determination. Seeing how much he had suffered, Athena pleaded with Zeus to help him return home. Zeus listened carefully. He agreed that Odysseus had endured enough hardship. The time had come for Odysseus's journey home to begin. Athena knew that Odysseus's long suffering could not continue forever. Athena never forgot Odysseus's wisdom and loyalty. Meanwhile, Telemachus, the son of Odysseus, struggled to find his place in a kingdom overrun by suitors. Though he was nearly a grown man, he lacked the confidence to stand against them. Day after day, he watched helplessly as they consumed his family's wealth and disrespected his father's home. Deep in his heart, however, he still hoped that Odysseus would one day return. Penelope remained loyal to her missing husband. Though years had passed, she refused to choose another husband. She continued to hope that Odysseus might somehow return. Her patience and faithfulness became a symbol of strength during the difficult years of waiting. Each day she waited and watched, never giving up hope that she would see Odysseus again. To delay the suitors, Penelope used her intelligence. She spent her days weaving a burial shroud for Odysseus's elderly father, Laertes. She promised that she would choose a husband when the work was finished. However, each night she secretly unraveled part of what she had woven during the day. This clever plan allowed her to postpone making a decision and gave her more time to wait for Odysseus. For 3 years, Penelope successfully deceived the suitors and remained faithful to her husband. Although many believed Odysseus was dead, Penelope never gave up hope that her husband would one day return home. Her patience, loyalty, and faith became a symbol of hope throughout Ithaca. She dreamed of seeing Odysseus again. Meanwhile, Telemachus watched everything in silence. He was no longer a child. Telemachus stood on the edge of manhood, yet he did not feel ready to challenge the powerful men who had taken over his home. The suitors ignored him, mocked him, and showed him little respect. Without his father to guide him, Telemachus struggled to find confidence in himself. He often felt alone as he watched the suitors take advantage of his family. Though he wanted to defend his mother's honor and protect his father's home, deep inside, the courage of Odysseus still lived within him. With each passing day, Telemachus became more frustrated by the suitors' behavior. Athena watched over Ithaca from afar and saw the suffering that had taken hold of Odysseus's household. She knew that Telemachus was struggling to find confidence and that the suitors were growing more arrogant with each passing day. Although Odysseus remained trapped far from home, Athena understood that his son also needed guidance. Determined to help, she began forming a plan. Without delay, the goddess left Mount Olympus and set out for the distant island of Ithaca. As she traveled across the sky, Athena thought about the challenges waiting for Telemachus at home. Athena arrived in Ithaca disguised as a traveler. Introducing herself as Mentes, an old friend of Odysseus, she began speaking with Telemachus. She encouraged him to believe in himself and act with courage. Athena reminded him that he was the son of Odysseus, one of Greece's greatest heroes. Even in difficult times, he remembered the traditions that his father valued. As the suitors continued their feast, Athena and Telemachus spoke privately. Telemachus shared his fears and doubts. He explained how the suitors had taken control of his home and how powerless he felt to stop them. He also spoke about his father and wondered if Odysseus would ever return. Athena listened carefully before offering words of encouragement. She encouraged Telemachus to believe in himself and act with courage. Athena reminded him that he was the son of Odysseus, one of Greece's greatest heroes. She urged him to stop thinking of himself as a helpless boy and begin acting like a leader. The goddess encouraged Telemachus to call an assembly and speak publicly before the people of Ithaca. She told him to confront the suitors and demand that they leave his home. She also advised him to travel in search of information about Odysseus. Perhaps someone knew what had happened to his father. Her words awakened something inside Telemachus. For the first time, he began to believe he could stand up to the suitors and take control of his future. For years, he had waited passively, hoping that circumstances would change on their own. Now, inspired by Athena's advice, he realized it was time to take action. If he wanted answers, he would have to seek them himself. As their conversation continued, Athena explained where Telemachus should go. She advised him to visit Nestor, the wise king of Pelais, and Menelaus, the king of Sparta. For the first time in a long while, he felt hope. Both men had fought alongside Odysseus during the Trojan War and might possess information about his fate. Telemachus listened closely. Instead of focusing on his fears, he began thinking about possibilities. Perhaps his father was still alive. Perhaps there was a path forward after all. Around them, the suitors continued their feast. They ate, drank, laughed, and ignored the growing determination within Telemachus. They believed he would never challenge them. They had no idea that change was already beginning. She encouraged him to trust himself and accept the responsibilities. The road ahead would not be easy, but he was capable of more than he realized. Inspired by the encounter, Telemachus felt stronger than ever before. The doubts that had once controlled him faded away. In his place grew determination, courage, and hope. For the first time, Telemachus began to believe in himself. Hope replaced his fear. With new confidence, he prepared for the journey ahead. On the distant island of Ogygia was ruled by Calypso, a powerful nymph. She had fallen in love with Odysseus and didn't want him to leave. Ogygia was a beautiful island, but to Odysseus, it felt like a prison. Far away, Odysseus remained trapped on Ogygia. Calypso wanted him to stay, but his heart longed for home. Each day, he dreamed of returning to Ithaca and seeing Penelope and Telemachus again. Though he felt alone, the gods had not forgotten him. He did not yet know that Athena had begun working on his behalf. Back in Ithaca, Telemachus was preparing for his journey. Soon, Telemachus would set out in search of answers. Above them all, the gods watched as destiny unfolded. The journey home had not yet begun, but the first steps had been taken. Yet, events were finally beginning to move in the right direction. For the first time in years, the future no longer seemed hopeless.